your peanuts back there. Whatever you
Hey,
eating
what's
there.
going on,
Are you
brother?
chewing on, what's going on? You chewing on ice or something? Yeah, you chewing on ice.
Now,
Invisible peanuts. Almonds? Okay. Yeah, almonds. Well, it's the time of year for it.
yeah,
Uh,
these are how I get my magnesium up. They got a lot of magnesium in them. So,
I
try to,
got you. Well, Merry Christmas to you, brother,
yeah, how
and
you been?
Happy New Year.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How was your holiday? Or how are the holidays to you right now?
It's been, I guess, what we would call business as usual. But hey, look, man, I'm glad you're back, man.
Yeah.
We trying to sort out the end of a wild year called 2020, a movie in itself.
Yeah, it has been a wild year. No doubt about it. But you know something? Hell, every year, every human being, all the human beings that lived before us, they claim they would be if they were here right now, they would tell you, "Oh, I had worse days than this." Y'all don't know nothing about 1918 or 1919. There's, when we had the Spanish flu. Y'all don't know what hard times was. We didn't have air conditioning units. We didn't have lights. We didn't have electricity. Things of that nature. So I think of that. Hell, for me, remember even in 2005, I had to deal with Hurricane Katrina. Well, Katrina, and I lost my home. So
Yeah,
that wasn't a great year. And even in 2016, remember everybody was saying how bad 2016 was because a lot of those celebrities died, like Prince and Carrie Fisher and a couple of other people. I can't name a few people died. So I mean, this year though, I guess it takes the cake because we were shut down across the country, and it looks like we might be shut down again because now they're talking about another strain of this coronavirus that came from Britain is now in the United States. So
you know something? It's mighty funny you mentioned that because, and I might have to go back and find all these articles, man. But I think it was an article yesterday. Oh yeah, there's some Minnesota senators that said they want a copy to find all the COVID death certificates to find out what's really going on. They
really,
want, yeah, they want the death certificate to see if what's going on. There's a lot of things unexplainable. Like you had a flash mob going to place and they want to see CVS masks and stuff. So a lot of people are getting fed up. Actually, it's pretty good to see. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you heard today that they're going to be, and when I told you this was going to happen last month, there were going to be senators objecting those votes. I told you that. Hold
I
on.
did see. I believe it was Senator. Uh, I had it written down here, but I saw one of the senators is
Hold on one
opposed to
second. Hold on one second.
the 2006 election.
Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm doing a show. Yeah. Well, you can just watch it. It's on YouTube. I send you a link. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that was wonderful lady that she based on the program a couple of things. Dr. Johnson, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But
I've heard. I know of her. I don't think we've ever met.
okay. But it's okay. But it's no
Yeah,
problem. But
yeah.
yeah, it's him and
So
then
she's a nice woman.
then they had after that, I don't know if you saw this case, they come back and say that they tweeted back and they tried to talk about him, but it's gonna be more similar to him. It's gonna go to the House of Representatives, and as a matter of fact, it probably could overturn the dynamics of a lot of things, but you're gonna see 2 hour debates probably, and they're gonna show you they had a meeting in Georgia today. They were talking about how the machines got hacked. And there was a whole lot of that happened today, and the
Yeah.
Georgia Senate is voting to decertify
Well,
by
Tommy.
Tommy
Yeah,
Tuberville.
Tommy Tuberville, who was just the representative elect out in Georgia. no, Alabama, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. He's a senator elect. Excuse me. He is saying supposedly that they may be challenging the election. They may be challenging Bitch McConnell. That's my name for him, Bitch McConnell. I don't know if you want to be cursing on here, but McConnell,
I don't
uh,
care.
that turkey neck mother, you know what? I'm trying to watch it myself, but Turkey Neck basically voting down that $2,000 increase that fucked over everybody. Uh, and they did it. It doesn't surprise me. This is a man who got up there and said that he didn't believe in reparations. Basically, I think more specifically, he said that we already got it. I think he hinted at, uh, a lot of them hint at the fact that we have a black president, that was our reparations. Remember that mayor who was that guy that he didn't win, but that guy was running for the mayoral race out in Florida, and he said that how if you want reparations, your reparations came in the form of Barack Obama. America says planes leave every hour on the hour, go back to Africa. Uh, my response would be to him is you go back to England or France or Germany, wherever the hell your ancestors came from, because you are not from the United States either. We were the originals. We built this country, and other groups are and have and are dominating more than black people right now. They are getting tangibles from these elected officials. And I have to give kudos to those groups because at least they are more organized than what we are right now. But right now, what I notice is that we're becoming, I think we're waking up more and more. People are rejecting, I know I've seen people that are rejecting, obviously, Kamala Harris for sure. And also, some are even having second thoughts about voting for Joe Biden. I've seen some people say that they're regretting it now because listened to what was on that audio tape that he did with those so-called leaders. Those are some things that are happening. But I don't know if I went off on what your question was. What was your question again, Bernard? We were just talking.
Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna bring it up. I did
Okay.
finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. I try not to get off, but yeah. But 2020 has been that year. There are some positives that have come out of it. I got a couple of businesses that are starting. I got some music that's going to be debuting soon. I was trying to get it out before 2020, of course, to end on a high note. But uh, and who knows, maybe I may get it at the last minute. But those are some things that I'm doing right now, and I've been working, blessed to be working. So, it is at this point now. Just if we make it out of 2020 alive, then we're all going to be legends by the next generation when we're not here. They will look back on this. This year, they will look back on it because we've survived a lot. We went through a lot.
Well, I'm gonna say so of course the CNN and the MSNBC hack saying that they say what they say about this guy Holly. Oh, they're trying to stage a coup. No, 12th Amendment of the Constitution. Good brother Ron Hurd pointed out something today.
Hmm.
Donald Trump showed you that the history that you never got in civics class, you gonna learn in there. You gonna learn about the Constitution.
Right. Well, I mean, look, let's not forget something. Back in 2000, when George Bush stole the election, the representatives, the Democratic representatives, the CBC, they challenged George Bush's presidency election, his win, and the senators hear their would not hear their objections to it. Remember that was in the movie Fahrenheit 9/11. They showed it. So it can, those are things that can be done when election results are to be certified. There's a process that it goes from the electoral colleges that certify it. Well, I mean, the state registrars, they certify it, then to the electoral college it's certified and from that point on it moves into the House of Representatives and the Senate, and they ratify it. That's how the process is, and if there are objections to it, they get heard. They can be heard or not. So
Yeah, let me say something
Most
about that,
people don't.
Gavin.
Most people don't know that.
And it's mighty funny if it gets kicked in the House of Representatives this time. You by January 6th, you have 31 Republican delegates versus 19 Democrat states in maybe DC or whatever. But that could be dramatic. Now, like I told the guy, I'm not worried because of some fact of hey, if you just have a war out in the streets about it, hey, me and Gavin will sit and watch the war. If we can get us a popcorn, we can do a stream, y'all. I'm just being dead honest, man. But I do want to talk about the
Not
state
gonna
of
be out there protesting. Shit.
no. Actually, to tell you the truth, hey, look, I told the guy, hey, look, man. I said Donald Trump is supposed to. Hey, look, it's Donald Trump and Rand Paul that said people need $4,000, not 2,000. They actually said that. Remember that.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
and,
And another thing that people don't realize he opposed that original bill, as did the other Republican senators, a lot of that pork stuff was in there too, which is why it kept getting opposed. This wasn't just a Democrat. This wasn't just a Republican thing. And a lot of people, because it was on my Facebook page yesterday, I had a friend of mine. We were going back and forth about this. Where no, this is squarely on the Republicans. I said they're all at fault because they could have worked this out months in advance if they were serious about it. Why in the world do we need money to go to Pakistan for
but
gender study programs? For gender study programs, why are they getting what $1 trillion or whatever it was? It doesn't even matter amount because it's 100 million, trillion, even $1. This is the United States. Same thing. They wanted to send money to Pakistan, to Libya, if I'm not mistaken. Let's not forget what they did in Libya. But that proves how the United States uses its influence, uses its power to influence other nations. We talked about Russia interfering with our elections, but hell, we interfere with everybody's election. We all do it. Nation power respects power.
right,
Power respects power.
right.
And we're doing crying and moaning because if Trump won again, see, I don't get caught up in who the president is and so forth so much because I don't look at that as a determination of my happiness. What makes me happy, what makes me feel good, because at the end of the day, these are men. I don't put my faith in men, I put my faith in God. Yes, our government has to be run by competent individuals. Yes, we need to call out those that do harm to us in our governments, but we can't look at it just at one side because if we look at things just from, well, I just don't want to say anything, you just want to speak against Republicans or this, Republicans or that, but not ignoring the stuff that the Democrats are doing. Maybe the reason why so many people voted for Trump this time, minorities again, is because people are tired of the identity politics that the Democratic Party has been catering to. Other groups who these identity politics that they are playing, people are frustrated with it. Why is this getting top priority? Gender study programs, hell, money to the Kennedy Center. Remember something in DC, which is a very liberal, which is a liberal area, they have locked down those places. The Kennedy Center is locked down. The Smithsonian is locked down. What are you doing giving them $40 million, $30 million, whatever an amount of money it is?
Well, let me say something about that. And see, that's one thing. Also, they wanted to repeal Section 230, which prevents people from doing internet censorship, which is good. That was another thing that he wanted. See, you used
They
it.
also wanted to make illegal streaming illegal. Watch, well, not illegal streaming, but yeah, illegal streaming in that bill. That was thanks to Disney and Netflix
Yep,
lobbying well.
yep. Well, that was Trump who wanted Section 230 because they said they need to repeal it because they're using too much censorship on the platform. And actually, they have been going overboard with censorship. Now, I wanted to ask you a question about because I know you were talking about business, so we need to talk about the state of black business in 20 going into 2021. How do we improve or how do we get better? You know?
We got to get better. To get better at business, we got to know how to do business. We have access to the internet. You can look at what an LLC is. Look at what corporations are. Look up if you go. When I went to law school, we had a class called business entities. We learned how business entities were set up, how you set up a corporation, how you set up an LLC, how you set up uh, a sole proprietorship, things of that nature. They are not hard to do. That you have to go through your Secretary of State to do those things. Those are stuff that we need to learn to do. You can Google that up, but most importantly, you can also talk to an attorney that's experienced in those areas if you want to set up an LLC, and they can guide you. What I would say first, before you go talk to an attorney, to think of what your passion is and how you want to make a profit from it. What exactly is it that you would want to do? If you're good with clothes and you want to sell clothes and design clothes, well, draw up a business plan. How much money you're going to need to start with. Those are things that you look at. Sometimes I'll be honest, because people just start hustling. Like you look at a perfect example. This year they did a documentary on him on BET. Is Master P. Master P was selling CDs out of his car out in California. He started No Limit Records from nothing, and with the help of friends and family. Whether you and regardless of how you feel about the state of hip hop and things that it promotes, I have nothing but respect for Master P because he's an entrepreneur and he's a businessman. He's a self-made millionaire. Well, though everybody isn't truly self-made, they had help from someone. But the point being, look at where he came from. He has, burger joint here in New Orleans. He opened up about a couple years ago. I've never been yet, uh, but he also has, uh, his. He had No Limit Records, but he also had No Limit Television. Remember when he had the Master P Theater that used to be on pay per view? I remember stuff like that, and also uh, he had a production company where he produced his own movies. So those things can be done. Now, movies may have not been good quality. Uh, like I heard, I got the hookup too, wasn't all that. But he gave people their start. And now they're saying Master P and Baron Davis supposedly are going to be buying Adidas. So, or Reebok, if I'm not mistaken, one of the two. So that's actually something interesting to watch. But we gotta learn to invest in our businesses. Stop looking for hookups. Because if a business owner, if you try to really support black businesses, you need to support them, and you have to put your money where your mouth is. And sometimes, especially, I find as an attorney, when you give potential clients a rate of how much your services will cost, they will go and find someone else at a lower rate, or ask you to work a negotiation out. And come on, man, you got to come down lower than that. Well, I would tell them you can kindly go to the next attorney's office because I'm worth my time. And I know for a fact you would not go to Jacoby and Myers or Morris Bartle, whatever white attorney, and ask them to negotiate their fees so that it could satisfy you.
Yeah, let's talk about that because actually, you know what? Tomorrow night I'll be doing a great interview with the lady, the aforementioned lady that called. And as a matter of fact, we were talking about business one time. We were talking about people that don't want to help their own people, with businesses, or they. I think she, Dr. Carmen Johnson, she, was in the NAA. She was the housing finance and secretary for the NAACP. And when she went to prison, the NAACP did not help her out. But if I can recall, I mean, the same NAACP members are the same ones that Joe Biden bitch slapped and told them, y'all niggas ain't getting
Yeah.
shit.
Those
Yeah.
aren't men.
Y'all
And those
ain't
aren't leaders, man. And those
y'all ain't
aren't
getting
leaders.
nothing.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, Bernard, those aren't leaders either.
Well, yeah, they're not leaders. I mean, I hate to say they're not leaders. They're hand-picked puppets. They might not even be puppets. It was funny, man. I just said, "Why?" He told me, "Y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all thought y'all get out of here, man. Y'all ain't getting nothing." It was funny though. I mean, hey, look, at least you got to see it, man. Talk like was that off of Was that off the movie Django or something that we were watching or something?
What was that? What?
Oh, like when you talk to them like they was on slave plantation, man.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Candy and yeah, Calvin Candy. Candyland.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
yeah, it was I mean, hey look man, Lee told him you got to start working with Hispanics.
Woo! Calvin. No, it got me
You
with
know, what-
Cameo.
you know what's funny though, Gavin? And I meant to send you this article, but I sent it to a lot. I don't know if I sent it to you or not, but on December 20, matter of fact, on Christmas, it was an hour long video in Ukraine, and the Ukrainians say Joe Biden owed them $7.4 billion for money laundering.
I've heard
This,
of that. Some people
that
talking
happening.
about
That
that.
happened on Christmas Day. I watched the interview, but
Yeah,
you won't be able to understand it. It's in Ukrainian, so it's a lot of things dripping out. But I just wanted to say to people that, like I've told people, what are you gonna do when you find all this out? I said, a guy told me, well, it's not true. I said, are you telling me I've sat there and watched the interview for an hour? He said, well, it's in Ukrainian. How did you understand it? It was in CC. I said, look, I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm just letting you know that the interview's out there. You can go watch it for yourself. Well, the news is reported. The news don't report none of their bootlicks not gonna report it either. Why would the NAACP tell you that? Don't you realize the NAACP is a damn sham?
yeah. Well, the look, the NAACP. In the past, they have done some great things, and they may serve a few. They may have served a purpose for, parties and functions. I guess today that's what they do now, and these hookups that you can get with at little banquets. But other than that, they have been irrelevant for the last 50 years, and a large part that has to do with the fact that in the 1960s, when you had the civil rights movement come to an end, and then you had the rise of the Black Power movement, I felt that too many of those baby boomers that came out of there felt that we had overcome because we had a Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act, and that was all we needed. We had integration coming in, and that's all we needed. And did not do enough, I think, to leave a legacy for their children and grandchildren. I mean, an inheritance that would be suitable for our kids to start. We talk about starting our own businesses. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about this in his book when he was approached by a white man about one of his lectures, saying, "Well, you guys marched for integration. We gave you that. Now you're complaining again. I don't know what the hell you want." And he said, and Dr. Anderson said clearly, said, "We want what the Asians and Arabs and the other immigrants get, which is they have the right to choose. They have a right to go and support their own community, but they can also assimilate and go into mainstream America, make millions of dollars, make hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands.
like Kamala Harris with
And
Kwanzaa.
yeah, oh man, don't get me started on that. I think when she celebrated Kwanzaa as a kid, Tupac and Biggie were playing in the back.
And
And
that
she's
was kind of funny,
celebrating
man.
Curry. Yeah,
But by the way,
and
by the way,
nobody. If you look at the video, it has over the last I saw. There's over 2 million views. It was most of the comments were extremely negative,
good.
and most of it was negative because nobody was believing that bullshit. Kwanzaa, let's be real about something, Bernard. Let me ask you something. How how old were you when you knew Kwanzaa? Did you ever celebrate Kwanzaa
I never been to a Kwanzaa
as a
celebration.
kid?
No.
Okay, no, me neither. Well, I take that back. We had at my church in the mid 90s.
Well, I know. Wait. Let me say something first. I know ain't no daggone woman who was raised as where our Indian mother won't celebrate no Kwanzaa. Let's start that first, right there.
Well, that's true. I mean, she was raised by an Indian mother, but also Indian grandmother.
That's
If
right.
you look at the picture with Camilla with her entire family, which was all women, that one picture that we saw had to be in the late 80s, early 90s. I know for a fact they didn't celebrate no damn Kwanzaa because that, in that culture, not all of them, but I know the culture there, especially when Indians, people that come from the Hindu Brahmin, they do not like black people.
That's right.
Asians have a disdain for
Well, yeah, I
blacks.
mean,
Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah,
that's right.
but right, but let me get to my original point. See, when I was at church, they had when I was coming up in the mid '90s, I remember, and it was only one time I did a Kwanzaa celebration. I think it had to be '96 or '97, and I think it was '97 only because at that time Bill Clinton was president, and if anybody remembers, you could go look it up. He had authorized as president the first Kwanzaa stamp, postage stamp, and they had a sister who painted it. So that was really the only time. I remember the Proud family having a Kwanzaa celebration episode. I remember seeing that in, I think the Proud family was in early 2000. I remember stuff like that, but Kamala Harris would have had to have been, if at the time this was popular, in her 30s, her early 30s, late 20s. So she clearly was not a child when she started celebrating Kwanzaa. She was, at the time she was 2 years old, was when Kwanzaa got started. It was not popular then. It is not as popular as the other, mainstream holidays, as Christmas and Hanukkah and so forth. And my main issue is that she's just doing too much pandering. She's a panda bear, not panda, pander, the pander bear. Because
Well,
all she's doing is making it even worse. Because remember, she wasn't saying much lately. So she
well,
comes out with that video talking about how her family wishes you all a happy Kwanzaa. And notice too, she doesn't even, and when she does those videos, her family's not even around. Not her husband, not her stepchildren.
yeah, you're right about that.
Have you noticed? Yeah, have you noticed that? You think her Jewish husband would allow her to celebrate Kwanzaa?
Well, first of all, her Jewish cousin. The only thing I know, the Jewish husband
Husband.
and her, they went and took that fake vaccine on TV, and that's about it. But otherwise, no. Um, Now it's mighty funny because I was looking at something and we had Sister Lauren, but Sister Lauren posted an interesting article from the Biden Harris campaign page to discriminalize HIV exposure and transmission laws. In 2018, 26 states in America HIV exposure criminal laws. These laws perpetuate discrimination and stigma of people with HIV and AIDS. There's simply no scientific base for them. As President Biden will support legislation like the Repeal HIV Discrimination Act, which promotes best practice recommendations for states. Come on, man, right? Okay. I'm getting kind of bummed out. But what I'm saying, these guys, that woman is a what they call a two. Matter of fact, I was on the show tonight with Bishop and them, right? And some guy called in and he actually said the fact that she has. This guy said, "I lie to you not, Gavin." This guy said she has never claimed she wasn't black. She didn't even run as black, right? I don't know what that guy
Mhm.
was talking about. But I said, no, I told him, look, in matter of fact, the
Been
guy,
doing it for the last. She's been doing it ever since she ran
yeah,
in the Democratic primaries when they had her listening to Cardi B and she was dancing when she was talking about how she smoked weed and listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg. She was clearly invoking her black card with that. And Tulsi Gephardt, who I give kudos to, she called her out on her BS at the primaries. I mean, she really embarrassed her. And remember, Kamala Harris was the first to drop out, if I'm not mistaken, in the Democratic race. Her chances went kaput. But now, uh, you know, Biden put her in, and I think the reason why they're doing it is because they want another Obama.
speaking of that, they're going to be at that Georgia Senate race next week, actually. Not Michelle Obama and Jeezy and Young Jeezy and Chris Paul and them going to be down there trying. By the way, what do you think about this guy Warnock with that thing running over his wife's foot? They say he was caught with a man.
I could be true, man. Some of those preachers are on, a lot of those preachers are on the down low. Um, you know, I think D.L. Hughley once made this reference that the black church was the gayest place in America. Uh, I, it's possible. I have heard about the, I heard about that from Judge Joe as well as Doctor Short about him running over his wife's foot and leaving her and their children. I'm more the way I look at the senator race, and this is something else that I was pointing out to my friend because a lot of people are talking about how this election is so crucial. We won't get things passed. The things that will be passed under a Joe Biden administration, as they say, caveat temptor, buyer beware. What you see is not what you think you will get may not be what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for because Biden, when I look at his website, we've talked about his positions on the Second Amendment. Uh, I pointed out to you and to the viewers out there, and it's on his website. You're going to look at it. He wants to limit guns to one. A person can buy one gun a month, which would be an issue with the interstate commerce clause that's been established, in the Constitution, in court cases. It's also going to cause problems with the Second Amendment. It's also something where he wants to ban the sale of guns and ammunition, which you can't really just buy a gun online. You purchase a gun online, you still got to go in store, and you still have to fill out the required documentation under oath, like I did, as to whether you've been charged or convicted of a crime, whether you have any felonies, whether you have arrest records, do you have a domestic violence injunction filed against you? Because in most states, you can't buy a gun if you have a domestic violence charge on you. Especially if you have an injunction against you, restraining order. They don't want that because they fear, there may be a domestic violence dispute that'll end tragically. That has happened. So when you look at that and then look at what will happen, the ramifications of a Warnock getting in office, where he has stated, and I've looked at it, his pro Democrat, well, he's pro LGBTQ, he's pro abortion. He is all, he has a strong alliance with Planned Parenthood. Uh, you look at that, and I'm coupling it with again with the stuff with the Second Amendment and knowing what Joe Biden has done in the past, I am not optimistic about this this election in Georgia if Warnock is elected. Uh, I believe that it is going to be a big problem. And again, people who don't go to the gun range, people
I'll
who
bring
don't
it
own
on.
firearms. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I think with all the stuff coming out of him, he's finished the Georgia secretary. You know what? Actually, though, he might win though because they are allowing out of state voters to vote in
Well,
Georgia.
it's two Georgia races.
Yeah, yeah. And as a matter of fact, they allowing out of state voters to vote. They were actually trying to actually. Then the Georgia, one of the guys said they need to stop it, but we'll see. And as a matter of fact, I found out that one of them judges in that case in Georgia that he one of them is Stacey Abrams' sister who let them be able to do that. I gotta
Yeah.
Stacey Abrams' sister is a judge on the bench, so go figure. so
Yeah, and most people, and I see black people that are rooting and cheering for this, but you're not getting anything out of it specifically. And I'm glad that in the last year or so, gun sales have increased. Blacks have accounted for more ownership in the amount of gun sales since the election of Donald Trump. That's something Donald Trump has done positive because I want more black people to go out and purchase legal firearms. I want them to go to the gun range. I want them to learn. Those are things that we do need to be into and encouraged to participate more in. Those are some things. So I'm looking at that, and you know what? Maybe this might be, especially since what we've seen, all that's gone on. Uh, this might be what will backfire, especially after the call that he did with the civil rights leaders. There may not be. I don't know what the voter turnout will be in Georgia. Since the election, but people tend to get burned out after a major election happens, and then there's a next one. Sometimes a lot of people don't go back and vote, and that's been one problem. Everybody thinks it's just, well, I'm just going to vote in November. I'm just going to vote in November, and I don't know what's going to happen. So,
It's mighty funny something I want to mention because
yeah, go
I
ahead.
be honest with you. Now, I don't know if you saw this poll the other day. I'm just showing you how flawed this thing is. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris not likable characters. As a matter of fact, Trump in the Gallup poll just won the most admired man in America for
Right,
2020.
2020, he broke Barack Obama's record. He won it by like 20%.
That's right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw that.
Okay. So that's a big so like I'm gonna just use the word populist. The populists are starting to rise up. They're starting to see it. And that's why I'm saying I'm glad people are starting to see. Hey, look, the new party is populism. It's not gonna be Democrat, Republican, third party. We could probably run Gavin or Rashad, probably have a better chance right now, right? But
I'm not
but
a
I,
good liar.
but but I will say this that it was another thing I want to talk to you about because and let me see if I can pull this up on my screen. Yes, Doc Boss, Trump is it looked like he could be finishing draining the swamp because they actually getting real swampy and they're showing you it's heightening the contradiction on both sides. Let me see if I can pull this share screen up. I wanted to show you something. I discussed this with Kulik the other day. Just hold tight. Let me see if I can get it. I don't usually do this all the time, but I'm gonna try it today. No, damn it. No. Application window. Hold on for a second, Gavin. Shoot.
All right, no problem.
All right. Let's see. Hold tight. Let me see if I can get it.
All right, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see it. Trying to
Uh,
get it back. Oh,
Screen
here it is.
this-
Here it is. It's coming.
you're gonna have to zoom
It's
in for
coming.
me.
It's coming.
Shout out to
Shit.
Bishop.
They're gonna gotta come back to the damn screen.
Happy New Year, Bishop. Happy New Year, Doc Boss. Cool it.
Find you back on the. All right. Let me get it here. You say I gotta zoom in?
Yeah, or make a full page if you can, so I can see it. Yeah, but it looks.
Yeah, all right. That's what I do. I make the full page. Yeah, let's make the full page. I make the full page. Yeah, I got you. Here we go. Yeah, let me go ahead and do it that way. Here you go. If you come up, shit. Oh, I'm coming to full screen. Along the load. Damn. But
That I can. Well, you know what? I
oh,
can see it, but they look
you
like a
see
bunch of pictures.
it now,
Yeah,
right?
it's a bunch of pictures, but it looks like one of the pictures you got is LeBron James in the progressive dress. Is that right?
James in a apron and a
I can. I can't hear you too good, Bernard. You're breaking in and out. Bernard.
here. I'm here. Can you get me? You get me?
Yeah,
I'm
I hear
back.
you now.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying was, we were talking about that, and we were saying that you see a lot of these guys wearing dresses and stuff. I'm sitting there saying to myself, you think you got a guy that's tough, strong, but then you see this guy wearing a dress, man. You're like, what the hell is going on? Me and Kulik talked about all these guys, these hired puppets and stuff, and I just said you got LeBron James where we got um, Dwayne Wade got a child is acting crazy. It's all messed up. So I said the men like us, right? They are trying to wipe us out of existence. Women too. I was in a sports bar the other night, and it's a bingo hall too. And I said, man, I got to get out of here, Gavin. I'm getting queered out. I see women couples, with each other like two tables at a time. There's like eight of them in the whole. But I said, wow, they were twerking on each other, kissing on each other, licking each other. I said, I got to get out of here. This is too much. So what I realized that it is what it is, But I said I got to get out of here because, hey, look, Gavin,
Too much.
the straight, the straight man, they trying to wipe him out of existence, man. Um,
Well, what they're doing essentially. They can't wipe out. They can't. They're trying. They can't wipe out straight people because then how would the world populate itself? They would die off. This is not. We don't grow asexually. But of course, what I do see and do know is that they certainly want to restrain masculinity. They want to abolish that. I know that they want to restrain, put heterosexuality, second to um, even homosexuality and transgenderism and lesbianism. I'm seeing that more and more by the laws that are being passed, the things that are being put on television. I could care less what two people do in their bedroom. That's their business. I may not endorse it, but does this have to be something that we promote and celebrate? For instance, was it necessary to have remember when a few years back when Bruce Jenner came out as Caitlyn Jenner, and they gave him the ESPY award. They had a one young girl that was battling cancer that could have gotten that. A young white girl who was playing for a college team. I mean, she could have gotten that award. She
you're
was
right.
battling cancer the whole season. The talks of, I think you were talking about giving that female kicker, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's being nominated for ESPY or
She's been nominated for
just
the Hall of Fame.
her jersey was put in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Her jersey was put in the Hall of Fame.
Something, just come to think about it. The night the Spurs played the Lakers, right? And Greg Popovich, the coach, got ejected. And I know they're gonna talk about it tomorrow. The woman Becky Hammond was the first woman to direct the NBA game. So, they get ready for that.
Oh, and how she did great. She was outstanding. She was just wonderful. She's definitely got the talent to make it as a head coach. But the main thing you remember, nature is going to take over. Nature takes over nurture, and what's going to happen when you get into a situation? She's in a male locker room. Same thing with the girl who the kicker from Vanderbilt. By the way, Vanderbilt still sucks. They did all of that and they got blown out that game. Even when she made the field goal the last game, if I'm not mistaken. But when she kicked off, it was a horrible kick. Anyway, what's going to happen though when you get a situation where she's in a locker room and with all men, and you're going to have a and she claims that somebody whistled at her or somebody touched her inappropriately or vice versa. Somebody says she's coming on to me. I could just see a big nightmare, PR nightmare, legal nightmare with a situation like that. And that's not to say that women don't belong in sports or anything like that, but should they be in intimate areas? There are things that, I just think there are limits to. Same thing with this video that's trending with that black woman that was twerking on her four children.
Yeah,
Well,
I
one of
saw
them
that,
was her
man. That
son,
was
and three of
disgusting.
them.
That was really
I,
disgusting, man.
But I mean, I would never. My mother would never put her ass on me like that. And the fact that and what makes it even worse is that you're recording it, which you're implicating yourself to, which means people are gonna come into your business, and you're doing it for clout. I wouldn't go into the bathroom with my mother, and I'm hearing from what was I was going to do a video on it, but I'm hearing that that wasn't all of her children. That was one son and some cousins or whatever. But even so, it just makes it even worse because I can tell when I look at that video that there's no father in the home. There was no man around because any man that was around and saw that, they would have pulled her ass out of the bathroom. And I'm sorry, I'd have been tempted to slap her. I said tempted. I didn't say I would,
Mm. Yeah,
but I
man,
would be
that's
tempted. Like I wouldn't have. And you pull your pants down, do it. You're dancing on them, and then you pull your pants down doing it. Like whoa.
yeah,
And
man.
maybe she didn't. And you know what? And what's sad is that you recorded it. It's on the internet now. Everybody's gonna comment. That's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man, that was
Uh,
actually sick, man. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, when I saw it, it's actually it was disgraceful, and but I couldn't believe that they even I mean, it's on video, man. But hey, but yeah, you did a wonderful show on that woman in I mean the restaurant on in Dallas. So we're getting further.
right.
Now I got two more questions to ask you before I go.
But that shows you the world that we're in because we live in a world where Megan Thee Stallion even made a comment recently how men are scared of the WAP. Well, what you're promoting is, and what that woman was showing, she's basically teaching those boys, her son and her nephews and his cousins, that it's okay to that thought culture is great. That's okay to be a thug. It's okay. They're seeing all of that. I don't know if you saw the picture with Swizz Beats and Alicia Keys, and their son is flipping a bird on camera. There's no way my mother and father would have allowed me to do anything to embarrass them like that, where I would be vulgar in any way, shape, or form. Even as an adult, uh, you know, when I'm around my dad, maybe it's a little different, but my mother doesn't even like it from time to time when I curse. So, it's amazing that all of that stuff. I mean, the times that we it's way different now.
Yeah, now I got two questions. So,
Yeah,
well, I know one thing. We got a woman like Cardi B getting awarded the Woman of the Year by Breonna Taylor's mother, which is actually a disgrace. And we've had a lot of weird things in 2020, but I do agree with this brother Donald Watson. 2021 is not going to start off to a much better in this in ending too much better. But we do got to make some adjustments in our lives. And Gavin, you do have you're trying to get your business thing straight. I want to thank the Queen, Valerie Denise Jones, for helping me on my website, www.kingbjfitness.com. But you have a interesting story, and even the other day, I don't know if you saw the program with brother Ron Hurd, Real BTV, and Lauren, but she's even doing some things. I'm sure she'll tell you if you contact her on Facebook or whatever. But I'm talking about the Spice Company that's just going down. I mean, things, any upcoming developments?
Uh, well, we are still in the infant stages of everything. At this time, we have developed our label. We have our lawyers, of course. Now, when you do trademarks and stuff, they can take a little time before you get, your certificate and everything is approved. As far as whether your trademark is not already taken or copyrighted. So we're still working on that. But in the meantime, I have some things in place. We're actually just waiting on that, ready to go. We will be developing our website. I want to say in the next couple of weeks, will get the ball started on that. But we have practically everything that we need to get started, and it's all about marketing and taking it from there. So it'll be in stores, I imagine, hopefully in the beginning of 2021. So I'm praying within the next 2-3 months we'll have everything started and it'll
I
be
gotta say,
good to go.
well, yeah, well, you surely are doing a good job or a great job of representing strong manhood, and then I do appreciate those efforts. Also, I just want to say to you and the rest of the people in the chat, hey, look, don't let these idiots on these puppets and these politicians trick you into taking a vaccine. Watch out for that. That's getting very interesting to see the faces they keep putting over. Notice most of the faces they put up there are Democrats, though, by the way. So it's kind of weird, isn't it? But
Did the three presidents, the former presidents, take the vaccine like they said they would? I think it was Bush and Obama, or it was Obama and
I
Bush that
mean,
said they would take it.
real, real see. I mean, it's that.
They never
Look,
did it.
well, they three to me in my mind. I call them three triplets because they did some of the worst of all time. I
Well, you
call
know what's interesting? We had a Baton in Louisiana. We had a Baton Rouge. Someone in Baton Rouge, I think, a doctor that had actually taken the vaccine, and or it's an article that I read. But then they still caught COVID-19. A vaccine doesn't cure the. Is not a cure to a virus. It just makes you more susceptible to it. Uh, and not experience the full symptoms and ramifications of it. It helps build up your immune system. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but what I could say is that, and what I do know is that vaccines tend to take, on average, at least 10 to 15 years before they're fully developed. This was something that was completely rushed uh, in record, as it's called, Operation Warp Speed, that President Trump had called it. This certainly was rushed within the last 8 months, uh, since COVID-19 hit our shores. So I'm just curious as to what's going to happen in 2021. What's going to happen now that there's a new strand that they're talking about that's supposedly even worse than this, the one that's mutated. I don't know. Yeah, I am just at this point keeping my eyes open. I'm certainly, I do know that they got businesses now that are requiring their employees, some businesses that require their employees to go get vaccinated, or they're trying to do that. And, a lot of people, there are people who are not comfortable with it just because we don't know how effective it's going to be. I saw a video of a sister that supposedly she got vaccinated and then half her face is crooked because she caught Bell's palsy.
Uh-huh.
It looked like she had a stroke.
Well, is the woman Tiffany Pontes Dover, which is a nurse last week that they showed fainted. I went and checked her Instagram accounts and Facebook accounts, and there was no activity on their her site. So I put up an article and said people saying that she did. Dr. Short said she did. A lot of people,
But look at
it's,
the doctor and the Dr. Moore that died, the black woman who complained about racism in the hospital.
mhm.
Uh, she had COVID, if I'm not mistaken, and they didn't treat her quickly, and she died.
Well, they call it medical apartheid, and we're gonna see.
Yeah.
But I just warn people not to take the vaccine. But I know you. Like I said, Gavin, I respect you as a man, and I'm glad that I was able to catch you tonight. Yeah, well, that Doc Ball, she's no longer here. Yeah, her family members on there. There's been a lot of people
Yeah, she
asking
disappeared.
her, but we'll say you give out your information and contact, and how can people find you and support your mission, brother?
All right. Good evening, everyone. You can cash at me and the name tag at the bottom, Gavin Richard Esquire. The YouTube channel is gboot2786. You can also check me out on Anchor at Gavin Richard Presents, and subscribe to that. We'll be doing some more podcasts, I believe, this week. And Brother Bernard, I appreciate you for having me on. Uh, everybody, 2021, I'm hoping that it will be a more productive, uh, safer, and better year than we've had in 2021. Uh, I'm sorry, in 2020, excuse me. We don't want 2021 like 2020, but I'm that it will be better. That we will have more time to focus on building ourselves up, and just be optimistic. And I think that we'll be fine. And just stay prayed up. Also, stay strapped up. So
Well, yeah, you will. I will say this. You just take your time and you know, power to people in New Orleans. And yeah, well, brother, I mean, like I said, well, yeah, is a cycle where the earth rotates around. So yeah, you're right. I'm gonna enjoy it. And
but
you look.
no,
Hmm?
before you go, I gotta ask you something because you're in the DMV. I wanted to talk about this. Oh, well, you're in Virginia. I want to talk about this because this may be related to something. What's happening with the Washington Redskins when they released Dwayne Haskins? I know you probably don't follow
Yeah,
football, but
yeah. I just
Booger,
go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and ask me that question. I
I
meant to
want
ask
to.
you about that.
Well, I wanted to ask you, did you see what Booger McFarland had to say about it?
Yeah, I saw what Booger and Fowler had to say.
Okay. What did you think?
Hmm. He about the business part, he's right, but about the part of where he just threw it on. I mean, if he gonna bring up Dwayne Haskins, he can bring up Johnny Manziel. That's what I looked at it. I don't know why he just landed on
When he
Ryan Leaf.
generalized the brothers?
Yeah, I didn't like that
Yeah.
because Ryan
Well,
Leaf, a lot of them.
Well, if you go to ESPN's YouTube page and they'll call it Booger McFarland's passionate response to Dwayne Haskins' release, it shows you the mindset of ESPN and what they try to do with these coons and sellouts that are on there. Like, for instance, when the reason why they have Stephen A. Smith, Doc Boss says he's right. I disagree. He was not right. Uh, Let me say why he was right and why he was wrong. Well, yeah, Bishop Scott, I know it's no longer called the Redskins, but I mean, that's what it's been known for its 80 something year history. They just call it Washington football team. But when he was drafted in 2019, they were called the Washington Redskins. Let me just say this. The Washington Redskins, when they and Washington football team, they have always been since Joe Gibbs retired, and I consider myself a pretty good football analyst, a dysfunctional team. Dan Snyder is not a great owner. He spent a lot of money getting free agents. I remember when he brought out millions of dollars. He basically opened the checkbook for Steve Spurrier to come in, the football coach from Florida, and Spurrier could not even do anything with Washington. I remember all of the free agents that came over there, from your Albert Hainsworth, who wasn't that great, as well as your and had his issues and basically stole money. Uh, same thing with your quarterbacks that have come there. They brought Mark Brunell. Brunell was probably the last best quarterback that they had, and of course they brought Joe Gibbs back. And even with Gibbs bringing them back, coming back and bringing them back to the playoffs, they still struggled. Of course, they had Sean Taylor, and that was a tragedy that he's no longer. He would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer had he lived. But they've always been a horrible football team and poorly managed, and that's my point. But my main issue, and I tie that into the football team. Remember when if you look at how dysfunctional they are and the quarterbacks that they have changed over the years, the different quarterback changes. They never had a franchise quarterback. Mike Shanahan did not want Donovan McNabb there when McNabb came from the Eagles, and he didn't want RG3. And remember, they drafted RG3 in the first round, and RG3's career, uh, that RG3's career was not that great when he got injured in 2012, even after he got the Redskins at that time, the Washington football team, their division title. So and Jay Gruden was the one that drafted Dwayne Haskins.
Let me say something about
Now,
let me say something about him though. Yeah, but he actually said that he was told to make that call from above. He didn't want, yeah, but I know
Ron
what
Rivera, yeah, but what you're saying, they've got a good coach. I'm not talking about Ron Rivera, the coach, but the thing is, you didn't get the man. My thing is, the Redskins have always been a poor team, so maybe not just looking at Dwayne Haskins. Look at the whole division. You're going to go into the playoffs with a losing record. You
that's
six
right.
and 10, 7 and 10. The Saints are at least 11-4. I'm sorry, 11. The Saints are 11-3.
Yeah, I know.
11-4, yeah. So no, 11-4, excuse me. So they're going into the playoffs, division champs, and a winning record. Every team's going in except the NFC East. Everybody's going to have be
And in the
below
AFC,
500.
you got one team that could get 11 wins and not get in at all. Yeah, right.
Right? Yeah, but the problem to go to Booger when you talk about how when he mentions black quarterbacks are throwing, are wasting this opportunity. He mentions Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, Jamarcus Russell was a bust, but listen, Johnny Manziel was a bust. Ryan Leaf was a bust. I remember when Johnny Manziel came into football, he was and drafted by Cleveland, and everybody thought he was going to be great, do this and do that. But Cleveland he didn't do anything. Not that he the money, because his family, Johnny Manziel's family, is actually rich in oil. They're part of that big oil money out in Texas. So he really didn't need to play football if he doesn't want to. He's got a whole career stash for him. But nevertheless, they've always been busts. The reason why I take issue with Booger McFarland, number one, an, he's not a great football analyst to begin with. Remember, they've demoted him from Monday Night Football because he was talking about fifth downs and in the way of the viewers and stuff, just saying crazy stuff on television. He was a poor analysis. He was a poor addition to Monday Night Football, which is why they demoted him. And then on top of that, they told about him too. No, he didn't talk about them too. He talked about the black quarterback. And let's talk about what he's saying with the black quarterback, because a lot of black quarterbacks to be true didn't even get the opportunities. Even when you look at Jamarcus Russell, and Jamarcus Russell came from here from LSU, the Oakland Raiders. While I agree that Jamarcus did not do himself any favors, especially being overweight, uh, not reading playbooks. I heard about that. He got kicked out of pre-draft meetings. Matt Millen even talked about it. The Oakland Raiders also are a bad organization.
That's right.
They are a bad organization. So stop looking at the players. All I'm saying is stop looking at the players and blaming them for everything that's wrong with your team, when you should look at who the number one dog is that's running everything, and that's Dan Snyder. You said
That's
during
right.
that time they talked about Johnny Manziel. Well, I didn't see that clip of him talking about Manziel, but I saw him mention specifically black quarterbacks. And had the roles been reversed, remember what Rush Limbaugh said about black quarterbacks when he was talking about Donovan McNabb. We all jumped on Rush Limbaugh, but Rush Limbaugh shouldn't have been on ESPN to begin with, because he's not a football analyst. He's a conservative talk show host. Well, he's really a conservative asshole, racist asshole. But they no, he shouldn't be taught. He brought race into it, and that was the problem. Yeah, he may be right that Dwayne Haskins is blowing a business deal, which I agree with, but you're singling it out to black players as if white players don't throw money as well. Like I say again, Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf was the biggest NFL draft bust. Paxton, can't think of his name.
Paxton
Paxton Paxton Lee. Yeah.
Lynch.
Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch, excuse me. Yeah.
Mm. Who? Okay, I don't know who a drunk rag was, but look, I will say this though, and like I said, if you talking about the business aspect, he was right on that. But as far as I don't know why. I mean, I do know why they brought. Well, ESPN tries to get woke anyway. They always
Why
try to.
would you want? Yeah, why would you take advice from anybody named Booger?
Oh,
I
let
don't
me
know
say
too
one
many
more.
anybody
Let me
named
say one
Booger.
more
I
thing
know a
about
football
DMV.
player. I remember the basketball. I remember the wrestler Booger, Bastion Booger, and I remember Booger McFarland when he played for Tampa, but when he played for Tampa and Indianapolis. But nah, man, he should cool it.
Let me say one more thing. Come think about it, you said something about the DMV. We also have to worry about in the DMV in Washington that the mayor is voting to have children getting vaccinated without consent of a parent. And in Virginia on Friday, yeah, Friday, I think illegal immigrants are allowed to get driving permits in Virginia. And I think they're actually talking about legalizing marijuana here. So those are a couple of things that's going on in here. So yeah, I'm glad you brought up the DMV. But yeah, Gavin, or Gavin Rashad presents. Please donate to his brother Gavin Rashad ESQ. That's his Cash App. Donate to him. He's working hard in his spice company, and keep the faith, brother, and keep it strong for the brothers in New Orleans. Um, and you take your time, and we'll have another show again soon.
Most definitely, and y'all
Shout
tune
out
in.
to
Uh,
John James as well, your friend John James.
yeah, Sean James. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a countdown of top events that happened in 2020, a year in review, and what's going to be happening next. Some other new topics that have come on. I'm gonna try and see if I can do a couple of videos as well. But I think, yeah, I think Dwayne Haskins was stupid for this, man. But especially when your coach has Hodgkin's lymphoma and you think it's wise to be going partying in the middle of a pandemic, I don't think that was a great idea. So the coach obviously he got frustrated with that, but yeah, that was a bad business. That was bad business on his part. And but the black quarterback thing, Booger McFarland, no, shut up.
And one more thing about him, one more thing, and then you were taking pictures and putting it on Instagram. I'm like, God damn. But okay, hey man, you know the guys love.
Yeah, all you can do is blame it on being young and dumb. But I mean, he should have somebody slapping him upside his head. Like, come on, man, chill out. Because at least LeVar Ball's sons, I could say this much about what LeVar Ball has done. He's got all three of his kids in the NBA, and maybe with the exception of the young one that got caught in China, none of them have had any trouble with the law.
And he was, and as a matter of fact, Gavin, he was doing the right thing. He was saying, I'm marketing my sons to get my brand to start our own business through the shoe contract, not through Nike, not through us. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that's similar to Josh Hawley that ejected the votes, he said something very interesting. He said that Walmart put out a tweet about him, and he said, "If you're gonna call me this, can Walmart you apologize for using slave labor in China?" That's how you hit these people back. You tell them, Nike, can you apologize and use slave labor to make
And
your shoes?
and I mean, look, I give LeVar Ball the credit where credit is due. A lot of people, yeah, he comes off as a bit of a loudmouth, but he's got his kids where he wanted them. All of them are playing in the NBA. They are millionaires at best, or at least have significant salaries, and they are in positions where they can own and operate their own business, and they have their name out there.
And
The
two of
big
them
dollar
drafted in
brand.
the top three.
Yeah, two of them were drafted in the top three.
Yep,
LaMelo, LaAngelo, LaMelo, uh,
Lonzo.
Lonzo, and LiAngelo.
Yeah, that one didn't get drafted. He got
He didn't
cut.
get. No, I'm talking about, but those three are the three sons' names. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Lamelo and Lonzo were the ones that got drafted. Lonzo was drafted by the Lakers, but yeah,
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
but he
hey
played
man,
for the Pelicans for some time.
and they tried to out him, they tried to out him, because they got loud with the woman, and that was another little psyops, and we're gonna talk about that one day because that was a psyops on um in that case that was a psyops, like they tried to make it look like he was getting on down on that white woman, but that white woman on ESPN disrespected him too.
Oh,
So
you talking about Molly Querim? Rose, Jerry
Yeah,
Rose, right?
yeah. That was
Yeah,
a
she was
that was
playing
a
the victim card with that one.
yeah,
She,
that was a way to
I
get
mean,
him.
I've seen video. Look, I've seen video of her saying provocative stuff when she was with NFL Network and even on ESPN.
That's right. So yeah, so that was another. That was a way to
She's
stop
not
it.
really, yeah, and she's not really liked by a lot. If you look at the comments on ESPN, whenever she's moderating or anything, people don't want her to talk.
Well, that's good. But I mean, and it was
Yeah,
another one that he was with Kristen Coward and Christine Leahy when he went on a Kristen Coward show a couple 3 years ago too. So
yeah, Cowherd, yeah, the
yeah, that,
herd, yeah, I
so
remember.
it's always something like that. They were trying to make him look bad as a black man too. They were
Yeah,
talking about you don't treat your sons right now. That's I said, oh, that's a
you
no.
don't like women. You don't like women. He said, "Yeah, I'm married to. I'm the one that's married." He
Yeah,
told
but
Christian Leahy that, and he got what's funny is when he got on Jason Whitlock and said the only thing Whitlock could talk to me about is snacks.
yeah, well, hey, look, get it back on. But yeah, Gavin, you take your
Joy
time.
Taylor, Joy Taylor. Whew, I love me some Joy.
Well, look, you take your
Holla
time.
at me, Joy.
You take your time, brother, and keep the faith, and we ready to get in a new chapter of another year. So I'll take you and Sean James out tomorrow. Give me a holler.
All right, no problem.
You too, brother.
All right, Happy New Year, guys.
You too.